Hey everyone, it's Tatiana, and today I want to chat with you about self-love. It's a cutesy kind of term and it may sound like a load of BS, but I think there is some value to be had in understanding self-love. Now, there are a lot of YouTube videos out there on this topic. It's quite a popular topic these days, and I think a lot of people are sharing what they do, their rituals that they perform to self-love, and that's helpful. But if you're anything like me, I need to know the why. Why is it important for me to self-love? Why is this important? How is this going to add value to my life? If I don't understand the why, I'm just not going to do it because I don't like to follow things blindly. So that's what this video is going to be about today. You may be wondering, well, what the heck does this have to do with business? This is a business channel, Tatiana. I think it has a lot to do with business, because if you want to become successful and fulfilled, then you need to equally invest as much time and resources in yourself as you do in your business. Because there is time after time we see people who are successful, but they're completely unfulfilled or unhappy. And you don't want to be that person. So, you really got to focus on both. You can do both. You can focus on your business and yourself simultaneously, and it's necessary. In my own experience, the work that I've done on myself has been fundamental, and it contributes to my success, because success is external. Achieving your goals is external. All of that is in the external world, but all of that manifests from the internal world. It all starts up here. So if you can clean this up and work on yourself and do the work up here with yourself, the inner world, that's going to reflect in your outer world. And it's going to make everything so much easier. It's going to make life easier. That's why self-development, it's called self-help, right? You're helping yourself to navigate through life. Now, another reason why I want to make this video for you guys today is because I know you're very ambitious and you set goals for yourself, and that's fantastic. But oftentimes, if you trace the root reason that you want to achieve those goals, you may find that it's because you are trying to gain love. Why do you want to be successful? And you have to have an honest conversation with yourself, because all of this happens in the subconscious mind, and it's not until you bring it to your awareness and ask yourself these questions that you can actually figure out what the reasons are. So why do you want to become successful? Well, maybe you say, because I want to feel significant. That alone, to say that and to come to that conclusion, you really have to humble yourself and be honest with yourself. You want to feel significant. Well, why do you want to feel significant? Because I think that if I'm now significant, then my family and friends will love me. Then I'll have earned their love. If I become successful, then everyone's going to see me in a different way and I'll have earned their love. And this is something that you can do this with, any goal in your life. And a lot of times, the reason that we do things, the motivator behind it, that subconscious motivator, is because we're trying to gain love. So we think that we need to do X, Y, Z in order to earn love. We think that love is something that we need to earn. We need to become more successful to earn love. We need to become more beautiful. We need to be married. We need to have a family. We need to, whatever the goal is, we think that we need to do those things to earn love, rather than realizing the simple answer and the truth that true love is a gift. True love cannot be earned. True love is given from one to the next, simply for your being, for who you are, for your presence. That's really all it is. And so, I encourage you to kind of look at your goals, and there's nothing wrong with being motivated to experience love. We all want to feel more of that and be surrounded by people who love us and whom we love as well. But if that is your number one motivator, well, you can save yourself time and save yourself the journey, because you can give it to yourself. Because if you think that you need to earn love, if you think that you need to become something in order to receive love, then you've got it all backwards, and you've got to reprogram your mind. So that's where the self-love comes in. When you truly have a love for yourself and you approve yourself, you accept yourself, then you don't feel the need to gain that from someone else. You don't feel the need to gain approval and acceptance from others. So I'm going to give you an example. The other day I was at a restaurant and I had my puppy with me. He was in his puppy stroller, which sounds a bit ridiculous, but when you have a 17-pound puppy who's not supposed to be walking around because he'll like grab anything he can see with his mouth and start swallowing it, then you won't be laughing. You'll want the stroller. So got the puppy in the stroller, and this woman behind me, she couldn't quite see him, but eventually she got a glimpse and she said, "Oh my goodness, there's a puppy in there. This whole time I've been hating on you, thinking that you just popped out a baby and you look like that." So, we all laughed a little bit, nervous chuckle. But, that was actually a moment where I was like, wow, that's really sad, that she would say that and feel that. Number one, because it's an example of women hating on women, just because of how I look. And it's unfortunate because women, we can be great support systems for each other. We could really lift each other up, but oftentimes we have this scarcity mentality where we think that another woman is in competition with us, and women can be vicious. If you're a female watching this, women can be vicious. So that's unfortunate because we need more women who will support other women regardless of how they look. Like, forget about that and just see it as your sister. This is your sister, and you can be a blessing in her life instead of trying to send negative energy towards her. But number two, and more importantly, is her comment is a reflection of how she feels about herself. So why would she even think of something like that? Is because she's projecting how she feels about herself onto me. Now, projection is when you are placing your own negative traits or negative emotions onto others unconsciously. And so what she is doing, she is projecting how she feels about herself, her insecurities. And I was a trigger for that, and she was projecting that onto me. So maybe, when she looks in the mirror and she does not like what she sees, she looks in the mirror and she probably rips herself apart. And she's unhappy with what she sees. And maybe she did have a baby and she didn't bounce back. And so when she saw me thinking that I had a baby, it brought up those insecurities and that jealousy. But it was really just a reflection of how she felt about herself. So she's not happy with herself. If she was happy with herself, if she loved herself, she wouldn't make a comment like that. She wouldn't even think it. It doesn't even cross your mind. So this is an example of why self-love is so important. Because if you love yourself, if you approve and accept yourself, not only is it going to do you good, but it does everyone else good who is in your energy field. Everyone else. She's sending me negative energy. That's not going to do her good. That's going to repel people from her. And it's filling her with negative self-talk. So when she looks in the mirror and she does not like what she sees, and then it becomes a trigger for her. So she's sitting at a restaurant and all of a sudden she's thinking about herself and what she doesn't like about her body, and she's feeling poorly and she's having negative thoughts. So it follows with her wherever she goes. So instead, if she could just look in the mirror and just accept herself and love herself and appreciate herself, doesn't mean that she can continue her weight loss journey if that's her goal. If she wants to lose weight, she can continue on that journey. But instead of hating her body as it is right now, just love it and appreciate it and continue on that health journey. So if she filled herself up with love, then love is what she would be sending out instead. You can only give what you have, okay? So if you have love in your heart, then you can give love abundantly. If your cup is half full, then you are limited in your supply of what you can give. But if your cup is overflowing, then you have so much that you can give. And that's why self-love is not selfish. And I totally get that. I can get why people struggle with self-love. Self-love is not being arrogant or narcissistic or egoistic or egotistic. It's none of those things, okay? It's just taking a little bit of time for yourself and just changing the dialogue that's going on in your mind. And so when you can love yourself, you can show up better for everyone else in your life. and that includes your children. I know a lot of moms struggle with taking time for themselves because they want to take care of every other person, every single person in the household, and then they're last, and oftentimes there's no energy left for them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care of other people first, right? It's a beautiful thing to take care of other people first and put other people first. But you got to make sure there's some time for yourself. You've got to leave some energy for you. Because if you can revitalize yourself, if you can build up your battery reserves, take care of yourself, refresh yourself, energize yourself, this is what's going to help you to show up better in the world, show up better for your family, for your kids. They're going to be the main benefactors of this. For your business, it's going to help you to show up better for your work, for your employees, for everyone. So that's why it's not selfish, because the best gift you can give everyone else is to be the best version of yourself. And if you're completely depleted, if your reserves are low, if you have no energy, if you're stressed and fatigued, if you are in a low state, then that's going to affect your environment and everyone in that environment negatively. Your low state, your low energy is going to transfer to others. So when you can take care of yourself and revitalize yourself and be in a peak state, that's going to only positively affect other people. So don't think that it's selfish, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. Maybe self-love for you is running the bath and just saying, okay, I'm going to take an hour to give myself a nice bath. I'm going to pamper myself, maybe watch something in the bathtub. Maybe I'm going to, have some bubbles and some exfoliation, take care of yourself in that way. Or maybe it's going on a hike, or maybe it's reading a book. It's different for everyone, but it's just showing, it's just saying, you know what, Tatiana, I love you enough that I'm going to give you some of your time. I'm going to dedicate some time just for you, just to pamper you. And not only is it doing certain acts, but it's really also, it's what's going on in here. So when you look in the mirror, instead of ripping yourself apart, saying, I'm not going to be beautiful. I'm not going to be loved until I'm beautiful. I'm not going to be loved until I'm thinner. I'm not going to be loved unless I have a full head of hair on my head, or if my teeth are straight. All the things that we tell ourselves, like, we really do rip ourselves apart, don't we? A lot of us do. And instead of doing that, it's just bringing awareness to that when that happens. And instead, when you look in the mirror, exchange those words for words of gratitude. And gratitude is so powerful. There is always, always, always something to be grateful for. So if your teeth aren't straight enough, then you can at least be grateful for the fact that you have teeth, or be grateful for the fact that you have these hands. Maybe you've got big hands, or maybe they're wrinkly, or they've got pigmentation, but guess what? You've got hands, and these hands are what make you so capable. You can grab things, you can create things, you can climb, you can do so much, you can type, and be grateful for these hands that, they work 24/7 for you. Or you can be grateful for the heart, your heart that beats 60 to 100 times per minute, 24/7. Without a single thought from you. Grateful for that heart that's working around the clock to keep you alive. So there's always something you can be grateful for. So I would encourage you to make this a practice. When you look in the mirror, instead of trying to rip yourself apart, give yourself some love. Because when you have a true, authentic love for yourself, if you can accept you the way you are, with all of the shadows that are behind you, you can accept all of those too, then it's going to be so much easier for you to accept the rest of the world. If you can love yourself for who you are, then it's going to be so much easier for you to love the rest of the world. If you notice that you place a lot of judgment on other people or a lot of criticism on other people, well, that's good that you notice it. And now realize that you're only able to do that because you're 10 times, 100 times harder on yourself. So when you can ease up on yourself, you're going to notice that you criticize other people less. You judge other people less. And in doing so, you're contributing to lifting up this energy field. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a weight that gets lifted off your shoulders when you can walk by and you just are free of criticism, free of envy, free of judgment. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to seep in from time to time, But it's not a constant thing where you're walking by everyone and you're judging how they look and what they wear and what they say and what they do. It's like, that's a lot of work. That's a lot that goes on in your mind. Instead, you can just have a peaceful mind where you can just be in a place of love and you can just give love and acceptance. And that is how you can serve people, and that is how you can help people. Because if you're constantly judging and criticizing other people, you're not going to help them. You can only help them when you have an open heart, when you're able to love them despite of, when you're able to say, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, I don't necessarily believe in that, but I'm still going to love them, I'm still going to accept them, I'm still going to be there for them and support them. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't love another until you love yourself. That's a very popular thing that people say. I don't think that's true. But I do think what is true is that if you can't love yourself, it's going to be very challenging for you to feel the genuine love from others, from your family, from your spouse, from your children even. It's going to be harder for you to feel that love. And the reason being is because, for example, if you look in the mirror and you don't think you're beautiful, and then your husband tells you, you look beautiful today, how do you receive that? Do you believe it? Or do you think, oh, he's just trying to get in my pants? Or, oh, he's just trying to say that to make up for something. No, you start to come up with reasons why he might be saying that instead of actually realizing that he sincerely is offering you a compliment. Is he sincerely admiring your beauty? So that's an example. You know, if you don't love yourself, it becomes very hard for you to feel the genuine love that is coming to you, that's flowing to you from those around you. And that's tragic. It's tragic because you're not going to feel the love, first and foremost, but also it's tragic because you deny others the opportunity of blessing you with their love. You deny your husband the gift of sending you a compliment and receiving it nicely. Instead, he's met with this disbelief. He wants to sincerely give you that compliment, but you're not receiving it. So it's a double-edged sword, if you will. I'll tell you my purpose. The purpose of my life is to live in a beautiful state and to be a blessing in the lives of others. That is the purpose that I set for myself. Now, how the hell am I going to do that if I can't even love myself? How am I going to live in a beautiful state every day if I'm not going to love myself first? It's going to be very hard. So it really just does start with the self-love. And it's a journey for some people. You know, it was for me, but I've gotten to the place where I don't need to do anything to gain love. I'm perfect the way I am. You're perfect the way you are. God loves you. That's the most important thing. And I'm sure your family and friends love you, but they love you for you, not because you are doing X, Y, Z. It's for who you are. And you have to love you for who you are too and accept yourself. So that is all I have to say today. I hope that you can see how this does translate to your business because all of this stuff, you know, you guys, I talk a lot about the business tactics and strategies, which is going to help you with success. But a lot of times the principles of success are not the same principles of fulfillment. And you have to be able to identify that and notice that. So sometimes, you know, that's why I want to tie these things in too, so that you can both achieve success and fulfillment. Otherwise, there's going to be an imbalance where you're heading in the direction of achieving a lot of success. But if you're not working on some other stuff here, then success without fulfillment is failure, as Tony says. So I want to tie this stuff in too, so that you can start to think about it a little bit and make it a practice. Work on yourself, treat yourself. The self-development is key to navigate the waters of life. I certainly wouldn't be here where I am today if I didn't take it seriously and if I didn't do the work. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments section. What are your self-love practices? What do you do to pamper yourself, to take care of yourself? This could be acts that you do for yourself, or it could be just mindset. You know, what do you do? How do you reframe things? I would love to know, and I'm sure it's going to help our viewers as well. Thank you for watching. Take care.